Yes! Having fun again, man. I'm having fun as a Knicks fan again. It's the year 2023. So if you're watching this in the far future from now, and you're looking back, and the Knicks are bad again at the time that you're living in right now, just know that at least in 2023, I had fun as a Knicks fan. Episode 516, let's get into it. Game 5, the Knicks take it. Advance. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya! Anthony for three, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied! Time! Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees! Let's go, baby! Let's go. And I don't think the Knicks are going to be bad in the future. Let me correct myself there. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, I think they're going to be great. I think they're set up for something legit here. That's why we're all excited, actually. But I'm just saying, if you are listening to this in the far future from now, looking back at something called YouTube, or you're listening to something Spotify, it's called. I'm happy this year. The Knicks, man. I'm going to try to keep this episode short. I'm not going to get too technical into the X's and O's like we've been over the last several weeks, honestly, months. You know, I've tried to get more like coachy with my podcasts. I just want to keep this one as brief as I can because it's coming out late. As I'm recording, it's Saturday the 29th. All right, so Sunday at noon, tomorrow at noon, is when the Knicks will be playing Game 1 of the second round against, you know who. Knicks fans are having fun again. Listen, I have taken every single hour of every single day since Game 5 ended to embrace, celebrate, feel good about where the Knicks are right now. And I'm not trying to be this gatekeeper, as Twitter losers call it, of the fan base. But this only feels that much better if you were around for the Ron Baker days, the Jose Calderon days, the Lou Amundsen, Lance Thomas days, Pablo Prigioni, although he was with that 2013 team. This only feels good if you watch those 17-win seasons, which happened twice over like a 4-year span. If you witness the Knicks, game of musical chairs at the head coaching spot, the poor draft choices, the mess in the front office, the James Dolan encounters at the guard. Like, if you were there for all that, and you're not just the casual fan who checked in during 2020, stuck around for that, then left last season, and now you're coming back this year. Like a lot of my favorite people, like on Barstool, I'm seeing we're never Knicks fans, and like all these other people. If you were around for the shit teams, for the teams that did nothing but chuck, brick, and struggle, I like that, then you know how great this feels. Then you know why Knicks fans are celebrating on 7th Avenue like it's the finals. You get it. So I'm very happy. I'm very excited for this team right now. All I said during the regular season was I wanted this team to go into the second round. And I'm about to sneeze, but it's like not coming. Pause. All right. And they did it. We've done that. We've gotten to the second round. Not to be all participation-y here, but like, yeah. I mean, that's it's been a successful season because given the expectation, this was the team that Vegas gave 39 wins to in the beginning of the year. 39 wins. and the number 10 seed if they even gave them the play-in. Because the Knicks, they lost out on Mitchell, but what did they do after that? They stuck to it. They won 47 games, took the 5 seed, and then proceeded to eliminate the team who acquired Mitchell during the playoffs in just 5 games. Nobody said it was going 5. A lot of people had it going to Cleveland. A lot of people said 6 and 7. I had Knicks in 6. And I'm very cautious with my approach, sometimes pessimistic, as we know. The Knicks took this in 5 games, a gentleman's sweep. And yeah, like, people are actually out there getting offended. Literal NBA fans are literally getting offended, upset that the Knicks fan base, after watching their team advance to the second round for the first time in 10 years, they're upset that they're out there on 7th Avenue having some fun. If anything's gatekeeping, that's gatekeeping. Like, that's nuts right there. That is A1 miserable. If you're upset about that, you can't get more grumpy than that. You can't get more sensitive than that. You can't get much more triggered than that. You can't get much more ridiculous than trying to criticize the fan base for being fans. Just because your shitty small market team that struggles to draw doesn't generate any excitement in your city, it doesn't mean you get to be the parade police and dictate how others spend their time. I mean, but with the criticism they're getting from NBA fans on social media and shit, you would think the New York Knicks themselves were out there celebrating with them. It's one thing if the Knicks were popping champagne and dancing around with confetti in the locker room and playing boomboxes, Aaron Judge. But no, like, the team is focused. Listen to their interviews. Listen to Thibodeau, to Brunson, to RJ Barrett. I don't know what it is, but I think people hate NYC for whatever reason. I mean, I guess I get it. And I like that kind of being the enemy. But I mean, when the Knicks are in the midst of turning their season around this year, you had people saying, wait for the first round. It's going to be the same thing as the ATL series. It's like, it's always going to be something. But I just think people in New York City are happy, and they're having a good time celebrating a team that's looking like it's going to be a quality team again. And, the small portion of 18-year-olds who don't understand the history of the NBA aren't able to appreciate why the New York Knicks mean so much to the National Basketball Association. People need to realize that it's natural for the human being to express their feelings in a euphoric way after being on the extreme opposite end for so long. Like, that's how we work. So, yeah, I mean, I have no issue with Knicks fans being excited. So, with that all said, bing bong, motherfucker. We hear all those catchphrases. Because the Knicks are no longer just fun. The Knicks are back. Like, 2020 felt like fun. It felt like a one-time thing. They were bad the next year. It just felt like a fake season with the whole crowd, no fans in the stands. And 2013 felt like a one-time thing. It was an older veteran team. It didn't feel like it was going to last. Guys were coming off contracts. Yeah. This team is back. And they're good, man. It's the Knicks are back. And this is their city. Like, it's no longer the Yankees city. They don't dominate the city anymore. It's not the Giants, the Mets, the Jets, the Rangers, the Islanders, whoever the fuck. No, New York City is, and has always been, to be honest, for anybody who, again, truly understands the history of the Knicks in New York City, it's a Knicks city. The Knicks are good again, and so now it's going to be electric, just like the Garden will be tomorrow afternoon. Man, I'm so happy we've got home court. But, yeah, we have something for the future. This team is I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like they're going to be good for a bit. This is a group of young players on good deals, and they're here for a little bit. This is good. This is the Knicks. So, yeah. The Knicks, they did it. They punished the Cavs. They punished them. They bitched them around this series. That was a team I saw on Wednesday in the Cleveland Cavaliers who looked like they conceded. They looked like they quit. They gave in. They looked scared of Madison Square Garden in those two games. Looked like cupcakes, snowflakes, pussies. And they got exposed, man. And it got to a point where I got so cocky and confident. I texted my buddies after the third quarter of Game 5 on Wednesday and told them, good shit, good game. What a win. This is amazing. F the Cavs. Who's next? Like, I got really excited. I was feeling it, and I didn't feel bad for doing it. I didn't feel like my superstitions were going to get in my way. No, I felt like we got this. And I never feel like that. The Knicks just won a series without impact from their second best player. They won a series shooting 29% from three. It's pretty amazing. A gentleman's sweep. Crush all the narratives. The RJ Barrett slander, you're not going to hear any more shit from me as long as this continues. The Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks crap, that's gone, thank God. That was officially squashed. Garland, Mitchell, a tough backcourt. Can the Knicks handle it? Sorry, fools. Jared, tough guy Allen, loser. The Cavs came into this with the top 10, a top 10 offense, and the number one defense in the league. Did not matter. So this was, in my opinion, by far the Knicks' best win of the season, no doubt, on Wednesday night. And you got contributions from everybody, from a lot of guys. But it was RJ, Obi, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Julius Randle in the first half, just with the excellent performances. And I want to start with Mitchell Robinson because I thought Mitchell Robinson was definitely the best player in this game. That's for one.
Bing bang.
But one could say he was the best player in this series. His presence down low, the defense, the offensive rebounding, that's how they won. Mitchell Robinson, and hey, even Josh Hart on the boards, like a maniac, and playing defense on Donovan Mitchell. That's how they won. They shut down Donovan Mitchell. Josh Hart in the front end, Mitchell Robinson in the back end. Both of them did an excellent job with their team defense, communicating well in the pick and roll, defending pathways to prevent the drive, great ball denial, sealing off the driving lanes. They made Donovan Mitchell's life hell. He was bad. He was atrocious this round. Outside of game one, Donovan Mitchell didn't do anything. And Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart are to thank most. The rebounding they gave them, game 5, the rebounding was incredible for Mitch. He grabbed 18 boards, 18 total boards, 11 of them came on the offensive glass. The Knicks grabbed 17 rebounds offensively. Cavs came up with 4. Josh Hart, dozen rebounds. Every single time the Knicks missed a shot, it felt okay because either Mitch or Hart was down there in position, boxing out in traffic, and bullying those two soft little bitches in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who everybody was concerned about too. There was a possession with 2 minutes left where the Knicks didn't score, but it was a great example of their resilience on the glass. Jalen Brunson misfires from mid-range, and it was Josh Hart grabbing the board. Goes back out to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett then misses, and it's Mitchell Robinson grabbing the board. So, like, miss or not, they made plenty of timely hoops throughout this series, and that's how they won this. That's how they won the first round. Defense, rebounding, and timely hoops. Just, I cannot say enough about Mitchell Robinson and the defense and the rebounding. Like, he earned every single penny of his contract in that series. He was just lethal. A lethal threat in the middle. Those putback dunks down the stretch were massive. The offensive rebounding, drawing contact when grabbing it, kicking it back out if he had to, chasing after loose balls, battling in traffic, tipping it to himself to grab the rebound. Like, just awesome stuff. Little shit that doesn't show up on the stat sheets all the time. And that's who he's been. But, yeah, and I also thought he did a really nice job for most of the series of staying out of foul trouble. You know, for as much as people were worried about the Twin Towers, those guys didn't do a damn thing. Soft. Yeah, I mean, fucking Josh Hart. Warrior just as much. Warrior. He's a New Yorker, man. He's a true New Yorker. You don't need the Yankee logo on top of his head to tell you that. Watch the guy play. I've never seen a player care so much when they're on the floor like a Josh Hart. I mean, he tells Thibs in Game 4 on whenever that was, when he was mic'd up, he goes, I can play all 48 if you want me to. And what happens in Game 5? He does. He played 46 minutes and 46 seconds in Game 5. I made a joke about that when I saw the clip. Somebody posted a soundbite, and I commented. I'm like, be careful what you tell Thibs. He has no idea what he just did to himself. He goes out there and he plays basically all 48 minutes. Josh Hart is a Thibs player. How many times do I got to say that? And I hope nobody at this point is complaining about Cam Reddish. Nobody's crying about the pick. I hope nobody's playing minutes police anymore either. Because this is why you do that. This is why they made the trade. This is why Mitch Thibs plays his guys as many minutes as he does. Because he knows they're young, professional athletes who are in the best shape, better shape than anyone. And Josh Hart went out there and played 47 minutes last night, or Wednesday night, and he killed it. He didn't allow, all series really, didn't allow Donovan Mitchell to ever get comfortable, denying him the space to operate in this game. The kid's just a magnet out there. The ball always seems to land in his hands when he's playing defense, under the glass, in the pass lanes. It's amazing. Having Josh Hart out there simply allows guys like Mitchell Robinson to rotate up or slide over, because Josh Hart is elite as they come on the boards. The most impactful, in a positive way, trade acquisition in such a long time for the Knicks. Maybe since the Busher. I mean, I said it before, but I literally cannot imagine this Knicks basketball team without Josh Hart. I don't remember those games this year we played without Hart. I don't remember specific moments. I don't remember specific games. And again, the crazy thing is I'm praising this kid so much, and he went out there and he scored 4 shitty points. Like, that should say something about those who constantly look at the box score and yell stats. Like, statistics don't mean shit in the playoffs. Not for a role player like Hart. He makes, and he fills up the stat sheets. Like, he does a lot of things on the stat sheets, but he just makes winning plays. If you watch this series again, if you watch any of these games again, you know what I'm talking about. Outside game 2, where he didn't do much, but he was coming off the bad ankle. Dude, he was excellent. RJ Barrett continues to play well when it matters most. The poise that RJ Barrett is showing, the patience and composure when he's got the ball, that's what we want. He's going to the basket at will again, using his strength to get downhill, finishing strong with that left hand at a very elite level. We're now seeing the Knicks feature RJ Barrett in half-court sets. They're using him in actions in the pick and roll. He's being aggressive with it. And he only took, I think, 4 3-point shots. Only took them when he had to. I looked up and saw that. That's what I want. That's what I've been saying forever. Take 3, 4. Let that be it. That's why he was efficient this series. As a passer, he looked great all series. That's a big reason for his improved efficiency. Making the right reads, the correct, smart decisions. That was his literal biggest flaw entering the postseason. Like, we were worried about, how does RJ play when he's so inefficient on his drives. Figured it out. Collapsed the defense. Hit the guy on the weak side, strong side. Made the right play. Much more aggressive under the rim. Not shooting through defenders, but going around them, under them, finding ways, maneuvering. And shit, the defense has been there. I wouldn't even call it amazing defense, but I would say it was good. It was a non-issue. It's been fine. Like, this, what we're seeing right now, it's peak RJ Barrett. It's what we want from him. This is when he's at his best. And you know what? I'll take it a step further here, and I'll say, if RJ maintains this play in the Miami Heat round, I'm all good with the kid, man. I'm 70% of the way there right now. Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't you be if he continues this? Like, when he goes through shooting slumps next regular season, and he will if he's here, if he's still here, I'll be thinking back to, yeah, it sucks now, but I'll be thinking back to, well, he came up clutch against the Cleveland Cavs. He came up clutch against the Miami Heat. It's very Stanton-like in that aspect, where Stanton, you know, he's never healthy in the regular season. He's not impacting his team in a positive manner as much, but he always comes through in the postseason. And if RJ Barrett can become a guy who shows up in the playoffs on the big stage, why would I hate him? Why would I criticize him as much as I used to? Because at the end of the day, to me, I don't know about you, but to me, the playoffs are all that matter. So if we see RJ again do the same thing in round 2, not only am I okay with him, but I think decisions will be different from Leon Rose this offseason, as they should be. That's how much the playoffs mean to me. And listen, this is a kid who always seems to respond to all that criticism very well, too. Like, it's always the next night he seems to be going out there with a big game after putting up a dud or getting heavily criticized in the media by his coach or benched in the fourth quarter. He always, it's like it become a theme where he bounces back well. And maybe he felt the extra energy because of the whole Donovan Mitchell thing, the storyline. RJ was included in that package initially. I don't know it's hard to pinpoint, but he was very good. 21 points in this game, 4 assists, another night over 50%, shot 7 of 13, 2 of 4 from 3. He had a good game. And the bench, they stepped up too. Obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein didn't get a ton of playing time because of how dominant Mitchell Robinson was. But you had Emmanuel quickly find his stroke a little bit again, Pulse. 19 points for him. You needed that for confidence alone. Like, I don't care that he shot poorly, because you score 19 points after dropping 0 or whatever it was. It gives you confidence when you look up and see the 19. So he got the Knicks off to a good start with those baskets in the first half. Obi Toppin. Shit. Obi Toppin gets my other award.
Bing bang.
He has done nothing but provide good minutes so far this playoff. When he's given the opportunity, he's provided. And I mean, if that hasn't been the story of his career, right? Like, this is a guy who's struggled most of his career finding playing time. This year, struggles a little bit. Didn't get a ton of playing time. Hard to find consistency that way. But he got his run towards the end of the season. He got his 30, 40 minutes. Just like last year when Randle went down with COVID. This time the ankle. He got his minutes, his starts, and he showed up. And he showed us he could hoop. Now there were questions about the legitimacy of his 30, 40-point games, with it being, late April or early April, I guess, at the time. Meaningless games, garbage time, playing against reserves and subpar competition and non-playoff teams and all that. But he came out there in this round and he produced. And he showed that at worst he could be a guy who comes off the bench and really is a spark plug. Just coming on the floor, giving the Knicks energy, injecting them with life, especially when they were at the Garden. That windmill dunk on the fast break in this game, it would have erupted MSG. But unfortunately, it took place in that dump of a city with cigar shops and pollution. But Obi was great. Came in, up the tempo by playing fast. He shot the ball well in the corner. Found that little mid-range jumper in this game. He flashed that. His face-up game was also improved. Noticing he's putting the ball on the floor a lot more. Playing like a wing, which got me thinking, if the Knicks hang on to him, I wonder if we see in the future more Obi at the 3 lineups. But yeah, I mean, that one sequence in Game 4 when he grabbed the ball, grabbed the rebound in traffic, dribbles it out, resets the offense, and then he attacked Mitchell going right, finishes around Allen at the basket. I mean, it's really impressive ball skills he's been displaying. If he could just develop a little bit more of a mid-range pull-up game. It's got some reminiscences of Melo in there. I also thought he played some good defense in this game. I mean, he missed the drop early in the third quarter, kind of gambling there on Darius Garland. But other than that, other than just one missed drop, like I thought his rotations were pretty sharp. And again, he brought energy. That third quarter was so massive, so big. I can't say enough about how important he was there. The Cavs kind of show some life late in the second quarter. Knicks going to half up 10, but it didn't feel great with the Julius injury. But right out the gate, you had Obi come in there and knock down the corner 3 immediately. Kind of gets them going. It's like, here, I'm fine, we'll be okay. And Randle looked good too. I don't want to forget him in this. He looked very sharp in the first half, attacking the basket time and time again. I like that it wasn't just, wing isolations onto Evan Mobley, but the Knicks were screening for him. He was screening for himself. They were finding him on the post, and he took care of Mobley. I mean, he absolutely bullied him at the basket and just used his brute strength and physicality, which the Cavs don't have. Finishing, drawing contact, kicking it out when he didn't have a look. I thought Randle was good in his 13 minutes or whatever it was. Brunson was okay. Great in the first half. Cleveland starts out by putting Garland onto Brunson. Cooked him. That didn't work. So they went LeVert, Okoro. His footwork in the paint was once again great in the first half. I mean, how many times do we got to say it? His footwork is top-notch, if not the best in the NBA. Right under Harden. The three-point ball, he controlled the pace the entire first half of the game. Second half, he slowed down. He had Cleveland send traps on him. A lot of cheating in his direction with the help, the help defender off the ball. But that's going to be something interesting in the Heat series. Going to be curious to see how the Heat defend him. I think Butler is going to be on Brunson. I mean, who else would you throw on him? But yeah. Thibs needs his credit too, by the way, for getting us here. Like the best coach we've had in decades. I would say better than Woodson. I loved Woodson, but little Thibs haters, they don't like him because he's tough. He's an alpha. He's an old school type of coach. He's got that mentality, but that's kind of why I like the guy. He's the literal reason why this team's identity is what it is. Defense, physicality, rebounding, that dirty stuff, that resiliency, that's Tom Thibodeau. So I'm giving him credit. And anybody who doesn't give him some credit at this point is just trying to stick to their narrative, their personal agenda. Yeah. Don't think there's much else. Listen, I'm a little nervous. I always get nervous during the playoffs. But I part of me is like not that scared of Miami. If the Knicks are healthy, seems like Grimes is okay. I don't know about Randle, but if he is magically healthy for this entire series, I'm not that scared of the Miami Heat roster. It's just Jimmy Butler that scares me, and he scares me. But outside of him, especially without Tyler Hero and Oladipo, who's washed, I'm not really scared of anybody else. Like, the depth is maybe worse than Cleveland. They're a bunch of fossils over there. That's what somebody said to me, and I love that. I will say is regardless of their shitty roster, they will find a way to make these games tough for the Knicks, because similar to the Knicks, they also battle. They also play in mud. They grind. They're kind of similar. Their offense isn't great. They play a lot of defense. And you know they want it. They've got the veterans. It's Knicks Heat. It's a classic. You got the old-time rivalry. You got Trader Pat Riley over there. You know he wants it. It's big that the Knicks have home court. It's going to be fun, I hope. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And it's been a successful season so far for the Knicks. It hasn't been a successful season for the Milwaukee Bucks. In fact, it's been a failure. And I think you know where I'm going here. The whole Giannis thing, I know this is going to come across as very unpopular and mean and not right and maybe controversial or whatever. I thought it was soft, absolutely soft. Very soft comments, but perfect, I will say, for the era we're in society. I will say that. It's 100% right for the era that we now live in, for sure. I absolutely think it was perfect for 2023. Like, listen, I get the whole lesson thing. All right, I get it. I know the mentality he's trying to show. It's pretty simple, though, to me. Like, if you ignore all the bullshit and just think for yourself and just think, use definitions. The Milwaukee Bucks, they will tell you. Their fan base will probably tell you what their goal was. Their goal this season was to win a championship. That was their goal. The next question becomes, did they accomplish that? Did they win a championship? Yes, they did. Okay, success. No, they did not. The opposite of success, failure. So did the Bucks win? No, the Bucks got eliminated. So, failure. To me, it's that black and white. It's literally easy. It's simple. If you ignore it, you put the emotions aside, put the cute, deep stuff away. Yes, no. Did you win? Did you not? Failure. You failed. It's simple. Like, he brings up Jordan, 6 chips, where all the other years failures. Yeah, that's why it's the ultimate glory, winning a championship, because you fail so much in this sport. It doesn't make him a failure, no, but it makes him a guy who failed in that year. He didn't accomplish his goal that time. But he's already a success. He's a success. He's got a championship, so it doesn't matter. But that season, him and the Bucks failed at doing their job. Yes, this year they failed. I thought Shaq's comments on TNT, was it last night or the other night, excellent and well said. And I was very happy that somebody had the balls to say it. The other guys were kind of just dancing around and using word salad and bullshitting. But Shaq, I like to consider me similar mindset to Shaq, where I'm straightforward and I ignore all the bullshit and I just like to get to the truth and get to the raw shit. If it hurts your feelings, tough shit, because it's the truth. It's what people don't want to hear. And he said it. In today's era, that's controversial, which is nuts to me. I can't imagine a guy like Derek Jeter saying, it wasn't a failure. We didn't win a championship this year, but it was a success. It was not a failure. Like, he would never say shit like that when he was playing. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty simple to me. Like, you don't win a chip, that's your goal. Okay, you didn't do it, you failed. That's it, guys. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to head to our final portion and the trivia as soon as we return from break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey, guys. So if you are a listener of the podcast often and you want to know where to find me on social media, you can find me on Facebook at BD4. You can find me on Twitter at BD4Pod. And you can also find me on Instagram at RobJCarbone. BD4 is located on many different platforms. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and if you do there, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review. You can listen to it on Spotify, but you can also watch the podcast on both Spotify and YouTube. BD4 is available on many other platforms as well. All you got to do is search it up. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and much more. We also have a website now for BD4. If you go to BD4blog.com, you can find the blog, the podcast links, and also where to find me on social media. Just go to BD4blog.com. Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born. All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome to episode 516. We're about to conclude here. But the Knicks put the Cavs to bed in 5. Unbelievable series for them. Just dominated that bitch of an organization. Let's wrap it up with our trivia, shall we? All right. So, for this episode 416 of the podcast, our NYY-NYK-MMA trivia question of the day is: the Knicks and Heat have met in 5 different playoff rounds over their history. Which side has won more series against the other, and how many? Sorry. Damn. The Knicks and Heat have met in 5 different playoff appearances, or playoff rounds, over their history. Which side has won more series against the other, and how many? All right, so one final time for our trivia here on episode 516. The Knicks and Heat have met in 5 different playoff rounds over their history. Which side has won more series against the other, and how many? All right, so who's won more playoff rounds, and how many? That's it, guys. That's it. I appreciate you stopping by episode 516 is a wrap. I'll see you in 517. We'll be going over that Yankees-Rangers series, and I completely forgot the Yankees are playing in 10 minutes, so it's a good way to wrap up the night. And this episode should be out either late tonight on Saturday the 29th or early Sunday morning, the 30th. So I'll see you then. Go Knicks. Knicks Heat. It's going to be nuts tomorrow. I'm going to have a few people over, enjoy the Sunday sauce, and hopefully enjoy a win. Hopefully everybody's healthy and the Knicks win. The Garden's going to be rocking. I already know it's probably so packed. It's going to be so packed. Like it's probably sold out. I look at the tickets, we're all $400 at least. That's the cheapest ticket, and it was in the nosebleeds were $400. So little people like me can't get to a game, but we'll see. All right, thank you. Go Knicks. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.